Am I the a-hole for telling my birth siblings to buzz off and leave me alone, and that I don't care about their stupid freaking parents? I 20s male, was adopted as an infant. I was actually found in an alley, and when my birth family didn't come forward to claim me and nobody knew who I was adopted. Thankfully, I was an infant at the time, so I didn't have a long foster care experience. I was placed in the alley without anything to keep me warm, in a low visibility area, and there were no signs that I was lovingly placed. It basically looked like I was thrown away like trash. I've seen some old newspaper clippings about it. The story was told to me gradually throughout my childhood. My parents were always open about my adoption. I never felt like an outsider. My family, my parents, siblings, and extended family were my family. Even though I was the only non-bio kid, I was loved, even treasured, and I had a great life. But the circumstance surrounding my adoption meant some things were unclear, with medical history being the biggest issue. I never really cared, but I got engaged a few months ago, and my fiancé and I want children. Seeing the health issues in my family made me realize I have no idea if I could pass anything on to my future kids. After thinking it over, I did a 23andMe genetic test, but I did it wrong and mistakenly made myself discoverable. I realized quickly after my results came in, but by then it was too late. 2 birth siblings found me. They're older. My birth parents had 5 kids before me. They all knew about me and wanted to get to know me. The birth siblings started off somewhat reasonable, but when I made it clear I didn't want to hear my birth parents' story, they flipped a switch. They said how much their parents regretted giving me away and how they would have come forward, but didn't want to get in trouble for abandoning me like they did. They believed I owed their parents and them the chance to tell their story and build a relationship. I stood my ground and blocked them, but they followed me to social media, insisting that we're family and that I should be kinder to them and their parents. They told me that it's not like I'm just a half-sibling. I'm the baby who was missing. They sent messages trying to make me feel bad for their parents, especially their mom. And it pissed me off. After almost 3 months of them finding ways around my blocking them, I finally told them to buzz off and leave me alone. I told them I don't care about their stupid freaking parents. I had to delete my account because they kept making random new accounts, and I couldn't block them fast enough in their outrage over what I said. They told me their parents didn't deserve that. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. You didn't deserve to be abandoned like garbage as an infant. There have been safe haven laws for decades. You owe no one anything. Based on the description of how he was abandoned, he was lucky he survived and was found. Send them all the newspaper clippings of a baby left to die in an alley. Did you at least get medical info out of them? I didn't get it from them, but the genetic testing I did gave me a decent picture of everything. I'm glad I didn't ask the birth siblings for direct medical history, because that would likely be used to try and bargain for what they want. How does that conversation even go? Sorry Mom and Dad tried to unalive you, but it would be really nice if you could help them feel less guilty about that. F all the way off. It was more like, we know our parents abandoned you, but there were good reasons. You'd feel bad for them if you knew those reasons. Please hear them out. Please be their son. Please make them happy. Let's be a family. Yay. Next story. Am I the a-hole for calling CPS on my family and asking to be removed from our house? My parents have 4 kids. There's me 16 male, and I'm the oldest. And then I have 2 younger sisters, 13 and 10, and a younger brother, 12. Our dad drinks a lot. He's had issues with alcohol for as long as I can remember. He doesn't work, doesn't do anything around the house, never wants to talk to any of us, and that leaves it all on Mom. Except my mom puts a lot of it on me. For a long time I did it willingly, and I wanted to help keep us together. But I started to feel resentful in the last 2 years, and then I realized if I wanted a better life, I needed out, and I needed to stop things from staying the same. My siblings have no expectation to help. My mom said there can be too many people helping, and it needs to be just me. So I was making after-school snacks and getting dinner ready for when Mom got home. I was left in charge if my mom wasn't home for any reason. even if Dad was there, because we never knew when he'd just get up and go to the bar. I had to make sure homework was done before Mom got home, and I had to forge her signature on stuff, with Mom's permission, because she wanted to come home and relax after a long day at work. My mom left me in charge of paying the bills online too. She had a checklist for me, and once a month, I had to go through the list and pay them all off. If we didn't have enough, I needed to get my siblings and go to the bank and deposit more money in my parents' account. Sometimes that meant looking for Dad's wallet and taking money from him, and other times, it meant taking from my minimal savings to use that. I have no savings left because of it. On weekends, I still got put in charge of feeding my siblings, sometimes my parents too. I found out my mom was eating out frequently on weekends while running errands, and that ticked me off because we struggled with money a lot, and we had more than I realized. She just used it to spoil herself. The other thing was she'd bring home snacks for my siblings, but wouldn't bring me anything. She was also giving them money behind my back and, again, nothing for me. Then my siblings wanted to do more stuff, and Mom slowly started putting the responsibility of walking them to those places on me. She had a car, but she'd tell me she needed a break and stuff. There were nights she'd go out with her friends too, and some nights she didn't even come home or got back at 5 a.m. But if I asked for permission to sleep at a friend's house or see a movie with my friend, she'd tell me we didn't have the money and she couldn't be without me. My siblings got to hang out with their friends if they wanted, but my mom always had excuses for why I couldn't. She started going out more frequently and sometimes with my dad. I tried talking to my mom, but she didn't care about giving me time off. All she'd talk about was how hard she worked her butt off for us. And she'd tell me I was young and didn't get stressed as much or need breaks like someone older. My grades started slipping this year. It was too much for me to keep up with, and Mom got an email about it, and she refused to speak to my guidance counselor about it. The guidance counselor set up a meeting. She didn't say anything to me. I was told by my guidance counselor in November about it. I asked Mom why, and she said the reality is, I might need to drop out anyway, so why would she waste her time? I sat on that for a few weeks, and then I spoke to my school about everything. My guidance counselor called CPS, and so did one of my teachers. But then I called and told them everything and talked about there not being enough food in the house because, at that point, there wasn't, and how we didn't even have money in our school lunch accounts. Someone from CPS came, and I begged them to take me. There were several visits before I was actually removed. My siblings weren't because Mom put money in their accounts after the initial CPS visit, and she explained that she had called their schools before and had allowed the account to overdraw, and she paid it off after a few weeks. CPS is still involved, but I'm staying with a family member. CPS is trying to reunite me, but I have said I don't want to go back. On top of all the stuff with my parents, my siblings have turned into really crappy people who don't care about me. Guess our parents taught them that, but I don't feel the need to save them anymore, or even care if they get put through what I was. At the start of the month, my mom and siblings figured out I was the one who called. Some of the details brought up finally connected in their heads, and they're mad at me. Mom said I was doing better than a lot of kids, and my actions came across as those of a spoiled brat. She told me the fact I asked to be removed, spoke about what my character is, and how easy I find it to abandon my family. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Good for you. You went to an adult and got out. Thanks. It's really daunting going to someone and saying I have a crappy home life and I'm being neglected, but I knew I needed to speak up or my life would never get better. I'd be dropping out and unable to do much with my future. What I'm about to say is not your fault or responsibility. I need you to understand that, okay? Your mother made you her co-parent. You are gone, and no one else in that house is responsible or knows how to do what you used to do. She's holding it together now, but it won't be long before she can't. Now that you contacted CPS, your mom and the other kids are on their radar, which hopefully means when things start slipping, CPS will catch it quicker than if you had just left without saying anything when you turned 18. Good luck. I wish you the best in life. Thanks for not putting that on me. I don't know if others might, but I know people can be weird about claiming the oldest should feel some sense of responsibility for their siblings. Most won't ever have to live it to know how crappy that is to expect. It's bad enough when your parent does that and expects even more from you. Not the a-hole, and I'm sorry for what happened, and it took so long for them to remove you. This stranger is proud of you for what you did to protect yourself. Do you work? Can you become an emancipated minor and stay with a family member, or petition for them to keep guardianship? Keep doing what is best for you, and we are here if you need advice or someone to affirm you did the right thing. I'm looking for a job now. I didn't get the chance to work when I lived with my family because of how much I needed to do outside of school. Emancipation isn't looking like a possibility for me. I'm going to say I want to stay with a family member, or even another if I need to, but I was told it won't be up to me. Next story. Am I the a-hole for laughing when my dad's wife's sister humiliated her and made her cry? My dad's wife's family came to our house for dinner on Saturday. His wife and her sister ended up fighting over me, 16 male, and my sister, 14 female. Her sister was calling my dad's wife delusional and mentioned that she's been married 3 times to 3 men who lost their wives and had kids. She said she was trying to live out her mommy fantasy that she can't have with biological kids, but she could never accept or see that none of her stepkids care about her and that she only left her last husband when one of his kids pushed her down the stairs. And she always stayed longer and pretended she was a mom. She said it's clear to everyone except for her that my sister and I don't want anything to do with her and that she is holding on to a marriage where she'll be miserable when she realizes the 2 of us won't ever let her be our mom. Her sister also said the only difference between us and the old stepkids was the fact that we didn't do everything we could to make her life hell to get rid of her. But we looked repulsed whenever she tried to hug us or wanted to spend time with us. She told her to open her freaking eyes and get therapy. My dad's wife got upset and said it was so mean and asked why she was humiliating her by throwing all that stuff in her face about her ex-husbands, ex-stepkids, and not being able to have her own kids. It came up because my dad's wife was talking about my sister's birthday coming up in a week and how she wanted a mom and daughter shopping trip for the 2 of them. Her sister rolled her eyes, and that started them off. My dad's wife was really upset, but I laughed, and so did my sister. It was mostly because of how my dad's wife denied what her sister said and made it seem like we loved her and that she is a real mom. But the thing is, her sister is 100% right, and we don't see her as our mom or accept her as our family. Our dad loves her for real and has let her try to step all over mom's memory by trying to play mommy, inserting herself into our lives and making us celebrate her for Mother's Day and stuff. But we don't accept it, and we won't ever appreciate her or be glad she's here. If they divorce or dad dies, we won't even look at her again. I don't even care if she's doing it to try and make everyone happy. I hate that she won't accept no, and that when we tell her we don't want another mom, she does it anyway, because we need a mom, and crap like that. When my sister and I laughed, it made things worse. Her sister was like, "See?" And we were asked to speak up, and we said she's right. I said I didn't know all the stuff about before, but it was gross to try and replace dead moms because she couldn't have her own kids. My dad wasn't happy with us, and he ended up kicking his wife's sister out. Yesterday, he talked to us after he calmed down and said it was really mean to let our mom be treated like that. I told him she will never be our mom, and her sister was right that she's delusional for not seeing that we don't love or want her. He said we might feel like that, but laughing was cruel when she was so upset. Are we the a-holes? Now for the top comments. If your dad's wife has been married 3 times to 3 men who lost their wives with kids, she is delusional and her sister was right to warn you. She does not love your dad. She loves the idea of playing mother. Your dad is not helping either. He is enabling her dreams of being a mother. If I were you, I would be making plans to move out with your sister as soon as possible. It would not take much to get her completely unhinged. Not the a-hole. It is more cruel to constantly force 2 kids to accept a mother that they do not wish to have. Yep. Her sister also brought up the fact she's against dating men with kids but with exes, even if the exes are out of the kids' lives. She always goes for the guys with dead wives. It's so damn creepy. Your dad's wife sure knows how to pick them, huh? Flips to the obituaries. I got the full visual of a lady wearing funeral garb, licking thumb, flipping through a newspaper, furiously circling obits with a red pen and look of determination. Survived by 5 kids? I'm on my way. Not the a-hole. I wish parents read all these stories and learn not to impose mothers/fathers on grieving children. We all should try to be a little kinder with each other and respect the memory of the person that is gone. I wish my dad could have found someone who was okay with being a stepmom or just a dad's wife instead of a mom. He maybe wanted more, but I don't get why. He was married to mom before she died. It confuses me why he'd want to replace her like that. Last story. Am I the a-hole for not letting my mom be around my baby because she wants to have her affair partner around my baby? My 28th female, am having my first baby next month after years of infertility and treatment. Everyone is excited, and we are extremely happy waiting for the baby. I think my own mother is the happiest of all. However, I've never gotten along with her. I have a lot of trauma from my childhood with her, which I no longer resent but still remember. She did what she could with what she had. The issue right now is that she's been in a toxic relationship with my stepdad, whom she has been with for 25 years. He cheats on her and she refuses to leave him. Whatever, it's her life. But she has started to do the same, I guess, and has tried to involve me. She started talking to a guy who is supposedly cousins with my biological dad. My bio dad says he doesn't know him. The guy she's seeing asks too much about me, says he wants to meet me because we are supposedly family, and just inquires about me in a way that makes me uncomfortable. My mom has tried to make me talk to him and meet him. I've refused because I think she should leave my stepdad first. I've also asked her several times to stop talking to me about him. I don't care to know about their relationship, what he does, or anything else about him. She told me I was crazy and that the guy had done nothing to me. Sure, he hasn't, but I don't like him. Despite knowing my feelings, she still brings him up. Their relationship is complicated, and sometimes I feel like she's making up in her mind that he's interested in her romantically, which, whatever, not my life. The issue is that one day, she casually mentioned that once the baby is here, this guy would be spending time with my baby, holding her, and just being around her. This made me extremely angry. For whatever reason, I do not like this guy. There's something about him that makes me not want him near my child. I told her no and reminded her of our previous conversations, where I asked her to stop involving me. Once again, she got angry. I talked to my partner and told him I didn't want her near my baby. I asked her at the beginning of my pregnancy to keep my pregnancy a secret because I was scared something would happen and only wanted to tell a few people. She told him everything about my life. She called again, and during our conversation, since my due date is approaching, I told her she was not allowed to take pictures of my baby because I didn't want that guy to receive any photos from her. That didn't go well, as she told me I was crazy and needed mental help. This is my first child. After so many years of prayers and procedures, I finally get to be a mom. Maybe I am being paranoid, but I'd like to hear your thoughts. Am I the a-hole if I don't let her near my daughter? Not the a-hole, but isn't it time to go no contact with her? Or even force her hand by informing stepdad of her affair? I've thought about telling him, but I don't want to risk her safety. I'm not sure how he'd react, and some people don't react well. You know him, stepdad, best. If you suspect violence from him, perhaps don't inform him. Curious though, she's with a guy capable of DV and willingly stays with him? However, go no contact with her and focus on you and your baby. I moved out so long ago, and back then I never saw him hit her or anything. But apparently they fight all the time now, and both have shown aggression. She said he bought a gun a few months ago, but I am not sure. I don't believe anything she says. And if she has stayed after 6 years of infidelity where stepdad doesn't come home for 3 days straight, I believe she could possibly stay if he is violent, but it's not something I know for sure.